Now, in America, lefties, we all know, hate Trump. But right now, because there's a chance Trump will end up winning in 12 months' time, they're going particularly crazy. They're also going particularly nuts about a thing called Christian nationalism. I talk about it with Dave Rubin.
He is running to end American democracy as we know it. He's an authoritarian who a court in Colorado 2 days ago ruled that he led an insurrection against the United States government. He's charged with leading schemes to help overthrow the United States government. So if they want to frame it that way, that's fine. If Donald Trump, a candidate who supports a new form of government here, that's authoritarian. It's really that simple. And by the way, Reverend Al, when people go, oh, you can't compare him to past Nazi leaders, you can't compare him to this past Nazi leader or that past fascist leader, because he hasn't done that. Well, what hasn't he done? He hasn't done the things that the American judicial system did not allow him to do last time, but may very well allow him to do this time. And if he is voted into office, then a lot of these people that are talking about literal or figurative or whatever the hell they're saying, you're going to look like idiots because he will get away with, he will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute, drive from the country. Just look at his past.
Oh, it's completely insane, and they've sort of shifted. They've realized that calling someone Hitler in a time when college kids are chanting for genocide, Hitler isn't working anymore. So they've moved on to fascism. And fascism sounds like a scary word. And of course, the idea of fascism, that you'd have corporate collusion with government power, creating a totalitarian system so that the individual could accomplish basically nothing in their life. They would just be subservient to the system. That is a very dangerous idea, but that is far more what the Democrats are doing right now than what the Republicans or Donald Trump is doing. And I'll give you an example. I mean, I can give you many examples, but for example, we know that wokeism and the idea that you would, grade everybody on skin color and gender and all of those things has been pushed into our corporations through ESG scores, so that they have to have a certain amount of black lesbians doing this and, gay whatever doing that and everything else. And then we have government officials who are pushing equity all over the rest of society. So that is the connection between government and corporations pushing their ideology. That actually is fascism. Another fascistic idea would be that you would be trying to take out the guy running for president in a bunch of quote unquote trumped up court cases. That could be considered fascistic. So yes, they have, unfortunately, when you keep everybody dialed up to that 10, and then you could maybe move that notch to an 11, at some point you break the notch and then everything's totally dysregulated.
100%. Perfect example of it, again, was something that you talked about with Bill Maher. It is amazing to me that staffers of Joe Biden have essentially been trying to get together to push back on Joe Biden's policies when it comes to the Middle East. Now, the reality is that in American politics, a lot more even than Australian politics, which is when you sign up to be a staffer for a particular candidate or a particular person in office, you are there to carry out their worldview, not to try to change it or challenge it. Is it true that people in the White House are trying to effectively protest from within about the president's position, but they're not just disagreeing in meetings, are they?
No, and this is unbelievably dangerous. As I said on Real Time, you fire them. That's what you do, period. If we were a serious country or a serious administration, people vote politicians in. Politicians pick who their staffers are, and the staffer's job is to accomplish whatever the goal and the agenda of the politician is. It is not your job as a staffer to decide what you want to back out of what the politician is doing or anything else. And by the way, Paul, we all know this in our own jobs. I've got my director Connor sitting in the room right now. If he just walked out of here and started telling everybody that Dave Rubin was a complete moron, guess what? He wouldn't be showing up to work tomorrow, and he better never forget it. But yet we treat everything now. We treat an entire generation with kid gloves, and it's unbelievably dangerous because the inmates are running the asylum, and the Democrats have no adults to stop them.
One of the hosts of The View is a particular idiot who's always trying to outwork everyone else, which is quite the competition.
It could be anybody. It could be anybody. Come on.
Yeah, so this Sunny Halston, Sheila, she turns around and she says, I'm going to have a fake Christmas tree because it's better for the environment.
It's unbelievable. This woman, she's really the worst. I mean, on any given day, you really could make a pretty clean argument that any one of them is the worst. But Sunny Hostin, I mean, she just pushes racism all day long. She's nasty. She's unpleasant to her co-hosts. But she got a fake Christmas tree thinking that it would be nice for the environment. And basically she gets up there and she tells everybody that now her family's pissed at her because of what they've done, because of what she did. And it's like, man, nobody likes this woman. And you know what? Nobody likes the fake Christmas tree either. We like the smell of the tree. Go out there like Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, get the biggest tree you can. It's going to be sappy. You're going to break a window with the branch, but that's what everybody wants.